Mm. Hey y'all, welcome to the Devon A. Morris Unfiltered call-in show. Have a seat. Let's get ready. You have any questions? Come on, call in. Come on to that Discord channel. Do me a favor, get the unfiltered crew some finger snaps. We're ready to get started here. Mondays, 8 p.m. Every single Monday, we're here. I'm excited about it. Are you? Let's get this show started, y'all. The greatest Scrum show on earth. I'll see y'all soon. Enjoy. Hello. Welcome, everyone. My name is Devon Morris. You are on the Unfiltered Call-In Show, where we talk about Scrum, Agile, entrepreneurship, all kinds of things like that. First thing I'll jump out and say is like and subscribe. I don't have a real format for the show because people call in or people ask questions in the chat. So you are welcome to go ahead and drop any questions that you have today in the actual chat. And if you want to join the show and just have a real exchange, you can actually go ahead and click the link that I just put in the chat, and that will bring you over to our room so then we can have a conversation. Oh, my headphones are leaning to the side. That's interesting. I've never even thought about it, but now I'm going to think about it right now. That's okay. I'm not even too worried about it. But it's been an interesting week. We're at the end of the year, and we're at the end of the month, I should say. So going into 2022, it's been a very interesting time. One of the things that people stated last week that they would like to talk about is interviewing, getting hired, all those kind of things that pretty much people decide to move forward with their careers, or basically the next steps, right? And so we're going to talk about that a little bit today as we jump in between questions that people may have. And then I'll tell you about something that I'm doing maybe I'll start off there. I'll tell you about something that I'm doing that I think you might be interested in. And we'll talk about that probably, maybe I'll go there first, right? So here's the deal. For you all that don't know, I am a trainer. I am a Scrum trainer. I'm PMP, CST, and then I got other certifications. I'm also in school to actually, in IO psychology. So I'm doing a lot of different things. One of the things that happened to me years ago is I worked at a Fortune, I guess a 100 company by now, maybe let's just say Fortune 500 company. And they had kicked Scrum out the building. And then I came back probably two years later, and we was kicking Scrum back off again, kicking Agile off again. And one of the concepts that we came up with right at the beginning of the year, that just was an epiphany to me, is the Chinese New Year was actually starting. So it was right around February 1, right around this time frame right here. And I came up with a thought of the year of Agile as being our theme. And with that year of Agile, we would try to do some things to get the organization, build a community of Agilists within the organization. People that were interested or heard about it could come ask questions and just find ways to just kind of bolster up this concept of the year of Agile. And it was interesting. I actually, I don't have my folder with me, but I'll take a picture of a couple things and actually show that to some of you all in the future. But it's one of those things where with that year of Agile, we had an initial event where we invited, we was expecting 1 or 2 people to show up to that event. And we're talking about 50 to 100 plus people showed up to the actual event, which was much bigger than we thought it would be because we didn't think that people was really that interested in the space of Agile. And so that started the organization moving in a really exciting direction. And the best way I can phrase it up is in the beginning of that year of Agile, I was probably leading the actual everything, everything related to Agile. I'm the coach, I'm the guy. You asked me a question, but I was just a contractor. Okay, so my objective all the time is to leave enough stuff with people so they can grow without me, so they can move forward without me, so they don't have a dependency on me, right? And so I'm sitting here, and we learn, we get to the end of the year, and you know how you have a child, a kid, and you've taught them, and now they're growing, and they get to the point where they can do things on their own, they're self-sufficient. That's what happened. We had an end of the year event, and I wasn't involved in the planning of that end of the year event. I got to attend it almost just as an attendee with everyone owning pieces, and it went into an auditorium. So before we had it like almost a lunchroom space to some degree. And then it moved to an auditorium because there was so many people interested. So many managers and directors and executives were interested that it turned into, but that's what happened with that year of Agile. It turned from this little small thing that we were really trying to do to something that the organization owned. So what I decided to do, just as an announcement, which I'm going to send some emails out about that tomorrow and probably throw it on LinkedIn or various platforms, is I'm going to do another year like that. I'm going to do another year just like that. See, tomorrow is actually the Chinese New Year. Same time frame that from back in the day. But also tomorrow, February 1st, is National Freedom Day, right? It's the start of Black History Month, the whole Abraham Lincoln thing. And so the idea is that it's National Freedom Day. And so what's better than starting a Chinese New Year, having National Freedom Day, right? That is associated with an interesting past, than to start up a new year. And so what I'm interested in doing now is starting the year of self-mastery. The year of self-mastery. Okay? And so I'm going to send out a few things about it, but I literally just thought about this yesterday. And so it's one of those things. I just was going through some of my past papers, and I'm finding papers from 2007 when I first started this journey into Agile and Scrum. Well, I started in 2005, but back when I got my first really official Agile Coach Scrum Master title was in 2007, when I felt super official at that point. And so I'm like, why not start the year of self-mastery? Why not? What's wrong with that? Because I got some things that I want to do for men in particular. I got some things that I want to do for Agilists or the Agile community as a whole. And the focal point of all that is really self-mastery, right? It's really truly self-mastery. So that's the direction that I'm going to move in. That's what's happening on this announcement eve. But I'm going to pull some things together and really send some information about that tomorrow. And do I know everything that's going to happen in this? No, I don't. Not right now. Because I just thought about it. When I say to you, I literally just thought about it because I was going through my information and I saw a nice little picture that I literally saw a nice little picture that I hadn't seen years. Had not seen in years. And so I was super excited, right? Just really super excited in reference to it. And so now it just boiled over to being that idea. And so realistically, with this show, I want to continue to show in that same manner, with that same focus, right? That our theme for the year really will be about self-mastery. And to me, self-mastery in all aspects of your life, okay? In all aspects of your life. So that's interesting, but that's the announcement that I'm really going to make tomorrow. I figured I would let you all know about it. And then I can, maybe cut some of these clips out and put that someplace to let people see it. So the year of self-mastery starts tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, so I'm super excited about that. If you like that, just give me a thumbs up, right? So, that being said, let's take a journey, okay? Let's move past that announcement and let's make a journey. Let's talk, okay? If you have any questions related to Scrum, Agile, entrepreneurship, you're welcome to drop those questions in the chat, or you're welcome to actually call and join me on the show, and I'll split the screen and we'll do it that way, okay? Now, before we start talking about this, let's talk about the things that I have going on so you at least know. We have a hardship class coming February 9th and 10th, CSPO. We have a hardship class coming the 16th and 17th, CSM. The hardship classes, I try to do them once a quarter until I feel completely taken advantage of, and then I have to stop because I feel I'd be depressed. But with the actual hardships, we lower the price to really like $300 or whatever is $300, right? And really the objective is for people who truly have a hardship to come on and join us in class and get one of the certifications, or both if you really want to, right? It's one of the ways that we give back to the community as Bearded Eagle, or myself as Devon, giving back to the community in general. And it's been very important. And the truth is that in January of last year is when we really started the hardship, January of 2021. Before that, we did some Black Lives Matter classes and all kinds of things like that. And so realistically, we've had some really amazing success that come out of the hardship classes. And, I have different relationships with different people, and you see them grow over time. So I have seen a bunch of nice diamonds in the rough. I've seen people take that opportunity and just run with it, right? Just really run with it, where they went from not being a Scrum Master whatsoever to actually being inside a major company as a Scrum Master, and they weren't in that position before, or they were able to change inside the company that they were in. I've seen a lot of mothers take advantage of that. Just a lot of different people, right? People that's having a hard time. So if you know anybody, you're welcome to go to our website, beardedeagle.com. And, really the next class up is going to be one of those hardship classes. And then a week later is going to be another one. We also have a CSM happening on a weekend this month. Well, not this month, but February. So February 12th, 13th. It'll be a CSM weekend. I do those once a quarter. I don't do them a lot anymore. And then we have a weekend edition of the CSPO occurring. And then the month of March, just some of the same stuff. Probably a 4-day happen, either March or April. And the biggest thing we probably have happening is our ACSMs and ASCSPOs, which will be happening in April. And then right after that in May, we're doing the beginning of May, Certified Scrum Professional. So that's a big deal. So if you are ACSM, ACSPO, that is coming as well. So that gives you the lay down or the run of the classes, or at least what you see is happening moving forward beyond the year of self-mastery. So it's going to be amazing and good, right? So that being said, people were asking last week about interviewing and had questions around things related to getting jobs and getting hired and everything else. And I have to take a step back, because one of the things that I truly believe is in you being self-sufficient. It's one of the reasons why I'm a business owner, and I prefer to run my business, right? It does mean it takes a lot of work, outside of that, but I'd recommend anybody, if you can, run your own business and move forward with a business, because I think when you're in, almost any country, business ownership has its advantages, right? So I would go in that route first, but let's just say that's not your route. Your objective is really to kind of move on to whatever that next step is for you, okay? My question for you at this point is, if you have questions about moving on to that next step, again, related to Scrum/Agile, coaching, right? Related to entrepreneurship, then I want you to drop your question in the chat as we start having this conversation. So, for me, for me, okay? This might be different for everybody else, but for me, I operate a certain way, okay? And my operation has helped me, right? Because I am the person that pulls things together to get myself ready for whenever an opportunity just may arise, right? I am prepared at all times for when an opportunity may arise. Now, why am I always prepared? Because I don't have to get prepared. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is you need to move with a different mindset of actually being more prepared. You know, one of the people that went through the hardship program last year, she wasn't ready. You know, if somebody in a company came to her and said, hey, we got a Scrum Master opening right now, boom, give me your resume. She wasn't ready, okay? She just wasn't ready. And that's okay, but the idea is that if you get yourself ready, then you're in a good position. So, for me, that's all about preparation. And realistically, how do I prepare? Well, first thing that I do, number one, and maybe I'll jump back and forth here and see if this will work out for us. The first thing that I really do, if I want to really jump and talk to you about it, is I really study my next move. I study that next step. Okay? I study the next step. Okay? Now, why do I say I study the next step? Because here's the deal. There's likely people that have done it before me, right? If somebody started a company, and let's just say you're trying to get hired at a company, okay? Then study the company, right? Study the types of companies that you're interested in. Study the types of companies that do this whole Agile Scrum thing. Study those companies. Study those departments that might be applicable to what you're trying to do. Like, we know that IT is a major place where Scrum occurs, right? But maybe you're more interested in doing Agile HR. So Scrum and Agile within a human resources community. In terms of those types of departments or organizations that focus on that kind of work. So my first step is really to study the next place where I'm trying to go. Why am I trying to study? Because by doing a little bit of research, understanding history, understanding how things operate, how departments operate, how certain parts of an organization operate, how an industry operates, right? Some of the trends that are coming for a particular industry, start studying the next step. And for me, I always state to people really simple. Think about your next two moves. It's not just about this next move, because the next move is going to get you to the next place. I get that. But it should be your next two moves that you think about, right? Because you're not just preparing for your next move, you're preparing for the move after that next move, right? So for me, I'm thinking about both. Like, I want to get to this position ultimately because I need to position myself there. Does that make sense? And so, for example, I want to get a doctorate. Bam. Well, one of the things that I need to do, that's a long time off. One of the things that I need to do is I need to become an amazing researcher. So I'm studying that right now. I'm going through that right now because I know that is going to be a part of me taking that next step, right? So I don't just think about this one move. I think about this move and then the next move that's going to come after that, right? When I initially became a Scrum Master, or at least was involved in Scrum back when I started off at State Farm, I wasn't thinking, okay, I'm going to go get this certification so I can go become a Scrum Master. No. I was thinking, you know what? I want to be an Agile coach. My first step toward that is going to be Scrum Master. So let me go start studying those types of people. Let me start figuring out what types of organizations actually do a lot of Scrum and Agile. And for me, those types of organizations were insurance and financial organizations. That's just what they were. Insurance and financial organizations is what I initially joined in my first rounds of Scrum, in my first rounds associated with project management. So realistically, I just really focus in on studying that next step, because that studying that next step might lead me toward, hey, I got a person over here that I'm going to emulate. Well, they're already at that next step. So if I emulate their success, emulate what they did to get there, maybe I don't have to come up with a new recipe. Maybe I just get the ingredients together and copy what they did, move forward with their playbook, and I'm able to garnish or get myself ready, right? So studying that next step is extremely important. Studying that next step is what's going to take you there. But again, don't study the next step. Study the next step and literally the step after that. Okay? Study that next step and that step after. Look, y'all, I was born to be a doctor. My handwriting is horrible, as I always tell people, okay? So, don't just study that next step. Study that next step and the step after, okay? So that's really important for you to understand and really be clear about, because the clearer you are about that, the easier you're going to make your life, because now you're starting to get your mindset ready. Because you have goals, you have desires, you have dreams, you have places where you're trying to go. So where are you trying to go? Well, determine that. Next step. Step after that next step. That's what you need to do. That's what my focus would be. Next thing I would say, okay? Thing number 2. I'm going to create a new screen here, okay? I'm going to tell you to one, study it, and then I'm going to tell you to practice it. Find a way to practice it. Find a way to practice it. Now, why do I say practice it, right? Because let's just say, for example, you're going to go for an interview. My statement to you is practice it. It's one thing for you to study it, study where you're going, is understand the step, the next step. The next thing for you to do is to practice it, to start doing the things that you plan to be doing so it becomes muscle memory, people. You want it to become muscle memory, right? That's what you wanted it to become, muscle memory. And by practicing it, becoming more repetitive at doing it, makes it easier for you to be in those kind of situations. So it might be, you know what, I know this may not be the perfect job for me, but I'm going to apply for this job so I get the reps in, so I get the repetitions in, right? You want to be able to do that. You want to be able to absolutely do that. Now, this is amazing because I believe that I have to go ahead and pause us for a second, because always people that call in get priority in terms of the show. So I am going to actually go ahead and pull someone on our show. Let's see. Let me go ahead and start doing this. Let's add you here. Look at you. How you doing?
Hello, sir.
I can hear you.
How are you?
I'm good. You are extra smiles. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. For everybody. This is, let me just say this. Let me step back for a moment, because I am amongst stardom right here. Okay? That's what I am. I am amongst stardom, right? This is a good thing, because I like to be amongst stars, right? So, here's the deal, right? Truth.
Yes.
Right? Truth. I want you to introduce yourself, but let me make a statement. Let me make a statement before you do, okay?
Okay. Yes.
This young lady right here, right? Don't just talk about it. Let me say it one more time. This young lady right here, don't just talk about it. Not last year, 2020, November, December 2020, she sent me an email. And spelled her story out, literally. And she joined the hardship class that I think was January 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah. Yes.
She went CSM 4th and 5th, CSPO 6th and 7th, right?
Yes. Yep. Correct.
And before you introduce yourself, what's your current title?
I am currently a Scrum Master.
You hear that? You hear that? So this stuff works, right? So
Yes.
do me a favor, introduce
Yes.
yourself to everyone, and then we can talk.
Okay. All right. I am Melin Rodriguez, and I'm from Seattle, Washington. I was in not the best place when I reached out to this amazing person here. Um, I don't know what it was, but I just thought I saw a couple of his videos and what he had to offer, and I wrote him a letter, basically just being as vulnerable as I could at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was unable to financially afford his program, and he was the most affordable that I could. But it wasn't so much that it was him, because I'd watch him talk and how he was so animated, and it made it interesting because that's a long class, and you want it to be at least you stay awake, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I took a chance. I threw it out there. He responded within, I think I looked at it within 2 days, I believe. And his reply, that was nothing on my radar. Nothing. I was not anticipating that. I I didn't know what to say or do.
Mm-hmm.
I showed up, and I stayed focused. I was engaged. Had an awesome time. Met a lot of great people. I got through the course, and I passed.
Yep.
Um,
You got
and
certified.
got certified, correct. And uh, asked for tips and try to stay connected with him. He wrapped his arms around me and let me be in part of his other this program behind the scenes. Just when I could make it, he never turned me away or never said I can't right now. Always replied to every one of my emails, day or night, and hooked me up with a coworker, somebody that also works where I work, and we still meet every week and have a great relationship. And
Now here's the question: did you know that person prior?
I knew, yes, I did know
Mm-hmm.
him, but we, just in passing, nothing extensive.
But he didn't know that you was interested in Scrum, did he?
No, 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 no,
Right?
not at all.
And
Yeah,
literally, I this person liked me on LinkedIn with something, and I'm like, you
right,
work at the same place she works at. I need to
right.
connect y'all, right? I need
Yes,
to
and
connect y'all
you did. You did.
because one thing about this community that we're a part of, this community right here that we're a part of, we love what we do, but we also want to help other people do it.
Yep.
That's
And
really one
you
of the key things.
and he is definitely that type of a person.
Yes.
More than I mean, in different areas of my life. It's and
Yes.
not just Scrum, but we've connected even deeper than that. He's
Yes.
amazing. He's
This is and
amazing.
this is good because
This is great.
here's the
Yeah.
thing I will tell you, because she said a lot of things about me, but forget the things about me for a second, right? Last year, she was on the show. Eileen was on the show, right? Been on the show a few times. And one of the things that she said last year was, hey, you know what? I got an opportunity, but my resume ain't ready. Get your resume ready. Make sure you connect with the people inside your organization that's already doing this. Why would you not do that? And I didn't do the execution is what you need to understand, people. It wasn't me that executed. Who executed for you?
I had to.
She had to. And in that execution, you humbled yourself and you actually went and just sucked in information like a sponge. Just sucked in information, right?
Yep.
Sucked in
Yes.
more and more information because what were you doing? You were studying the craft. You actually were preparing yourself for when that opportunity does arise. And now, last year, well, let's just say last year, before you can't forget, before you got to become a certified Scrum Master, before you decided to go pursue the dream, what was your job title then?
Specialist.
Just a specialist.
Information specialist. Just a specialist,
right?
Nothing.
She wasn't doing any Scrum.
Nope.
Had you done any
Nope.
Scrum prior to that?
No.
So you really are 1 year into this.
Yes. Literally. Yeah.
You have kids, yes?
Have a daughter. She's 17.
Right?
Graduating this year. Yeah.
I would, and I'm going to assume whether she makes more money or not right now is irrelevant to me because I know that she has the potential to make more money than what she did before. Am I correct?
Correct.
But is it really about just making money?
No.
The question is, I would ask you, what's the difference in your world of being a specialist versus doing something that you really wanted to do, and now you're on the other side actually doing that? Tell me how you feel.
I'm so proud of myself. I tell you that.
You should be.
I am so proud of myself. I was, like I told you, I was in a very bad, I wasn't interested. Just getting up and going physically to work, I had no interest.
Mm-hmm.
None. I've been with this company for a very long time. And I just wanted, I lost my mother in this, before this. And I didn't.
It was tough. You had that techniques, right?
Yep. I was done then. Yeah, I was done then. And I had no confidence. That is the one thing that you helped bring back, give me back. I had no confidence in myself.
And what I tell you in the beginning of the class, don't go out here and embarrass me on the street, right? That's what I said. Don't embarrass me on the street because my name is on your certificate, right? You go out there and embarrass me on the street, it's gonna be a whole problem. That's what it's gonna be. A whole problem, right?
That was something that was very, in my face.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. There's no question about it. And you have not embarrassed me.
Oh.
I am very, very proud to actually say these words to you. You're one of my colleagues now.
Oh. Wow. Thank you.
Do you understand that? You hear what I'm saying, people? Do you understand? We all come from some place. We all do. She is one of my professional colleagues right now. And with her motivation and with her go-get-it type of attitude, if she wants to become a certified Scrum trainer at some point in the future, I guarantee you she could be. I guarantee you she could be. With no question in my mind. We need more women doing this stuff anyway. Right? Because I guarantee you a lot of people you run into is men, right? We need more women doing this, period. And I guarantee you, you don't run into a lot of women from your background. You definitely don't run into that. So it's one of those things when you start looking, these things aren't impossible. They just take steps.
Yeah.
They just take steps. And you just gotta be motivated enough to continue that path and continue making those steps. Right?
Yes.
And nothing stops you from doing that, because the difference is that I've had people come up to me at my daughter's graduation from high school, had taken a scrum class with me, and they're like, I don't know what the next step is. Did I have to tell you what the next step was? No.
No.
No. I didn't have to tell you what the next step was at all. You went and you decided to go get it. You decided to go get it. So realistically, yeah, you borrow some motivation and confidence from me. You borrow a little bit of that from me, from the classes and stuff like that. But that's all you. That's all you. That's not me. I'm not doing that. That's all you. That is all her and the steps that she's taking to make it happen, and the steps that she's taken to change her life completely. So here's a question for you, right? Now that you go to work, before you said you wasn't happy, you didn't want to go to work. Now, what is a day in your life like now when it comes to work?
I am actually like, okay, aside from this COVID thing, okay,
Yeah.
we've been remote. We've been remote.
Yes.
Okay, and literally either Wednesday or Thursday, it's 25% in the office, so that equates to 1 day a week, which I still don't want to go. But anyway, um, I I will can hold my head up high and feel very confident in myself, and I get I get my opinion I matters. I get asked. I contribute. I was very I kept myself very under the radar. Didn't contribute in any way. Now I give my opinions. I am I've put myself into a couple different groups that in the company, volunteer for the advocate,
Yeah.
change advocate.
Okay.
Um, also just doing we call them, instead of Toastmasters, Tech Masters. So
Okay.
trying to practice the craft of speaking publicly, um, and just I've already looked at the next step. The next I'm going to this time I'm going to be diligent in plugging in how I perform in each of the areas. So when it comes for review time this end of this year, I would already have all of the examples and all of the pertinent work already, and with it's a no brainer. It's like, okay, I've done this. I've already performed at this level.
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is just say okay.
Yeah.
So I
There
did
you
not.
go.
I haven't looked at that. I haven't looked at that. I've been with this company a long time, 30 plus years,
But it's like a
and
new life,
I'm.
right?
It is, and I'm actually. I know you all told me I want to do. I want to do remote. I want to be remote. I like this remote setup, and I don't know. You never know.
Well,
It
build a
can be
case for it,
some.
right? I always say build
Yeah.
cases for things, because if you can show that we are more productive in this environment, and I'll tell you, one of the things that I've been doing is I have I joined a PhD program, right? I'm crazy. I
Yeah.
really have joined a PhD program, right? And so, like I've been thinking about what shall my dissertation be on, right? And I'm really curious about the practices within our space, and how much have they really changed in terms of productivity with us being remote in the active
Mm-hmm.
space.
Mm-hmm.
Because something's telling me that we are just as productive, if not more.
I think more.
And this is the question, right? Is it truly we are more productive? And if we are more productive, the question becomes, is there really a case for going back physically into the office? I'm not sure, right? I'm not sure.
Uh,
Or
yep.
at
I
least
don't
giving
know.
people options toward
Yes.
what they, what works best for them.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
a
Right
hybrid model
there.
of some kind, right? So that being
Yeah.
said, let's put that to the side because that's about me, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
tell me some of the things that you actually do as a scrum master.
Um, I obviously facilitate all the ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
I work on metrics. I'm working on um, uh, improving our team,
Okay.
thinking of things to um, improve each iteration that we get better. As a matter of fact, today I put out uh, a a proposal to my team that I want us. I sent out a link. I found a retro board
Yeah.
that it works great for me,
Okay.
and I send the link to the board beforehand before
Mm-hmm.
our retro for the offshore and onshore. That's another thing is I
Mm-hmm.
also am including my offshore group because
Okay.
they're part of my team too.
Okay.
So I've made it a point to show up to their daily stand ups that they have in the evenings at least once or twice a week
Okay.
to say hello and to hear any of their concerns firsthand. And I want my group to add something to the retro
Mm-hmm.
before feel they have this time, the cadence, the iteration time to add one thing, what went well, what didn't go well, so everybody um, feels comfortable contributing,
Yes.
that we're not sitting here rushing at the end of the iteration before we get into the next one
Mm-hmm.
of thinking of all these things. So I thought that would be a nice a nice way of gathering things without the quiet ones being felt like they're put on the spot and everything.
Do you hear what you're doing, right? You really, if you think about what she just said there, right? She is, she's identified a problem. She has people who don't speak as much, who don't speak up as much. It may be introverts or whatever it is, right? And she wants to give others a voice, right? Because a lot of times you can be in a retrospective and it's the same people saying the same stuff again and again and again. And she's working on basically running an experiment to see how this tool is going to help give those people a voice.
Mhm.
That's Scrum
and give
Master
us more
stuff right there.
and give us more content, because we need to grow, we need to improve each time.
Mm-hmm.
And I also am going I work, then we'll agree on maybe one or two of the action items and work it into our the next sprint
Mm-hmm.
and actually complete that and have a solution, and it'll be one of our stories that I'll probably, unless somebody else is the one that initiated or thought it up, but that's going to be, we throw in one of those stories
Okay, let me
every.
step back because you going too fast for some people here, right? You're actually
Oh,
taking, and you're not going fast. I mean, I understand, right? But there's some people here that may not understand at all, right? What you're basically saying is some of the actionable action items that are coming
yeah,
out of your retrospective, you are putting in your product backlog and pulling
correct,
that into your sprint backlog as a
correct,
committed to piece of work that we're going to deal with this particular sprint. So you're
correct.
moving an improvement from one sprint and talked about how things didn't go so well, and then taking that into a new sprint and going to actually work on improving that. Now, my question for you is that improvement for something for you to do or for something for them to do?
Oh, for them, for
Yeah,
maybe
that's
as a
another
team.
thing. Did you not just hear that? Yeah, you hear she's going too fast, right? She just said it wasn't her improvement. She's not working on all the improvements. Do you
Hmm.
understand? She's actually getting the team to identify things that we can work on, and the team is committing to doing that. The
Correct,
team is committing to do that.
correct.
That's facilitation right there.
Hmm.
Because she
Hmm.
doesn't have to solve every problem. You have
Hmm.
wonderful people there who have nice, wonderful, great brains and they know how to solve problems,
Hmm.
right? And so
Yeah.
she's not spelling it out to you that way, but those are the steps right there. That's very classic, very good work as a scrum master to really facilitate them, to guide them in that direction and not force them in the direction.
Hmm. Right,
See, as a
exactly.
scrum master, you can decide to jump off a bridge. I'm going to tell you that may not be a good idea, but I can't stop you from jumping off the bridge. I play a very different role, okay? I like that. I love it. I love it. I'm amazed at hearing that, right? This is a good thing, right? This is an amazing thing, right? So then, when you think about yourself as a servant leader, because I always thought that you would actually be an amazing servant leader, because I always thought you knew how to take care of people, you know how to look out for people, you know how to be fair to people, right? I always thought that about you, right? So when it comes to you as being a servant leader, how did people adjust to your movement from that one position you had before to now they respect, they see you in this position, you are now a servant leader, and those are two very different places to be, because I know they
Yes.
wasn't listening to you before, and now
No.
they're actually listening to you. So
Right.
tell me what that feels like to you. Tell me what that difference is.
Um, very accepting, very accepting. There's still some individuals that I have not physically come across simply because of our remote, but everybody else has been like, you're amazing. You have it was me keeping a lot of it was 80%, 90% me. There's a few that I'm gonna be, looking pretty hey. So not nothing disrespectful at
No,
all.
no, I
Believe me,
understand.
nothing disrespectful. But yeah, I'm not pulling back. I'm not holding back.
You
And
shouldn't.
no, I have a lot to offer.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I have a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of knowledge that I have um, about the culture of
Mm-hmm.
where I work.
Yeah.
There is no. You will never be able to capture that.
Right.
I was just, as a matter of fact, I was talking to my guy that you hooked me up with, and
Yeah.
he was just like, "This is what he did. Ready?" He didn't even know that I was there, have been there that long, and
Wow.
the interactions and the relationships I would have with top dogs, like that, top
Wow.
dogs, and he's just like, you can be wherever you want to be. He goes, you got the cards. I
Yeah.
go, I
But
have been blessed. I'm just taking each step
that's
for me, and
transferable. See, understand. Those
yeah,
are transferable skills, right? You actually had that 30
yeah.
years, you just can't buy that, right? And
Well, I
so
think my
you're able to
soft
transfer
skills
that.
were, yeah, soft skills. I have to personally say that I think my soft skills were really good. I'm definitely working on my other skills, stuff like that. But soft skills, I am big on pumping up my team.
Mm.
We have fun Fridays every week, and
Okay.
I got the other pods, other scrum pods. They're
Yeah.
like, "Are you coming into our thing? Are you coming?" That this just even my presenting myself or coming into a thing, everybody's like, Malin's here. I bring a different energy
Mm-hmm.
and a different approach, and I have not had any struggles
Yeah.
with nobody on my team. I
Yeah.
have an amazing team.
Mm.
I really do, and I feel I can scale it. I know I can scale. I know I can scale.
But here's the good thing.
I don't have.
Teams
Yeah.
love transformational leaders,
Yep.
and you are a transformational leader.
I believe I am. I
Yeah,
believe I
you're
am.
bringing something to the table that's refreshing and different for them. And
Yep.
on top of that, when you take care of them as a servant leader, it just builds a foundation where they will almost do anything for you. So
Hmm.
you are building that. You are doing that. Matter of fact, if I was to come in your organization right now, they probably look at me and say, "This is chopped liver right here. This is chopped liver. Come on now, this is chopped liver right here. He got all those credentials, but no, because again, I go in as a consultant and I don't have 30 years of experience in an organization.
Mhm.
So I have to pair up with somebody who can give me that political, know what the landmines are and the dead bodies are and the skeletons are, know who to talk to, who can get things done.
Yep.
I don't know that, right, coming in. You knew that. That's an advantage
Yep.
for you. And you take anything that you can as an advantage and you find a way to meld it into
Yep.
into who you're going to be in this
Yep.
world of Scrum, in this world of Agile. And you've done an amazing job of doing that. So,
Thank-
here's a good question for you. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
As you look at yourself, okay, have you made any goals for this year?
Uh, yes, two.
Okay, all right. So, and they're smart goals, right? So you've made some smart goals for yourself, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Not
Mhm.
thinking about this year, because that is, just that's too much detail.
Mhm.
5 years from now, do you think you're still going to be in this space of Scrum and Agile?
I can see myself being that,
Okay,
but
you may not be a Scrum Master, right?
no. But I don't know. I don't know how high, but I would be really interested in the coaching or
Mm-hmm.
being like being able to do. I would love to be able to do something like what you do. I would love that. I could
Well,
do that
you
if I
can do
could
it.
learn
Why
in
can't you do
English
it?
and Spanish.
Well, why can't you do it?
I can.
Why can't you do
Yeah.
it? Because you
Yeah.
have to remember something, right?
Hmm.
What you're what you are getting from me is my years of experience. There are people that are in the position right now that you were in a year ago.
Wow.
Just remember that. There are
Yeah.
people right now that are in the position
Yeah.
that you were in a year ago.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you can't do what I'm doing for you for them? You could.
Yeah. I could.
You could.
Yeah.
You could.
I could. I could. A year ago, if you would have probably asked me, or even after the class, I probably wouldn't answer the same. But
Should
now,
you? I mean, but you couldn't answer the same.
no. Mm, no.
Because the beauty of what you've done is you've gone out and did the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not faking on a resume or faking to people that you've been a scrum master forever. You're not
Mm,
lying and pretending like you're something that you're not. No, you've put in the hours. You've put in the
yep.
time. You've been nervous and had to make the transition from the current position to being a scrum master. That took
Yep.
work. That took you being nervous in some type of interviewing process or vetting process inside your organization where other people had to bless you to be able to move forward.
Yeah. I when I got the promotion, it was a promotion, obviously. That was not on my radar.
Hmm.
I did not think I was going to be because they had already said it was going to take X amount of time because we are doing a revamping of the entire department and everybody was being put into different roles
Mm-hmm.
and everybody I mean the whole organization is learning. I mean, I did it with one third of the time. I was not
Guess what?
I
That's
was not
that's all
expecting it.
you,
I
baby. That's all you. Come on now. People was like, she is so dang on good. We got to have some of her right now. That's you. That's
man,
you. You did that.
I I didn't I really was not expecting when I got my review time. I just bust out in tears. I was just like, woo! I was just wow.
So
I
then,
couldn't
but just
wait. I
remember,
couldn't wait to email you.
but remember what you was doing. You was putting in the work. You was going to learn. You was humble. You was volunteering. You was doing
Mm-hmm.
all the things that it took for them to see she is serious about this. You had
Right.
opportunities to practice those skills, right? You
Yes.
talked to other
Yes.
coaches that existed, right? And
Mm-hmm.
everybody got an opportunity to see this is the work that she put in. Here's her resume. It may not be this deep in terms of scrum, but from what we can see, we know she's going to do an amazing job.
Yep.
So an opportunity has now come up. Why can't she be there right now?
Right. Right.
You can't beat that. That's all you. That's all you. So you should be extremely proud of yourself. You should
Thank
be
you.
ready. You should be ready to coach other people because you can.
Oh.
You can. There's nothing that prevents you
Wow.
from doing that. There's nothing.
Wow.
And people always say, well, what's the difference between an agile coach and a scrum master? Your mindset.
Yep.
That's it. That's your mindset. That's it. Yeah, we could talk about all the tools. There are tons of tools you can go learn. I agree. There are tools that are associated with coaching that are extremely important. But realistically, you can do those. You can get those same tools as a scrum master and use those right now. Nothing prevents you from calling yourself a coach. Really,
Oh.
nothing.
Wow.
Because a coach is doing something in particular. Whether you want to call it a coach that's partnering with people or you're more of a mentor, you're doing something that's going to help people get to that next place where they're trying to go. And that's super important, right? So now you're not just a person that is, they're just, you're actually a poster child now because you're an example. You're an example. And now that you're an example, people would love to hear about your story. People would love to hear how you're doing. So now, here's the challenge. I expect to see more from you.
You, of course.
Okay? And so I
Yeah.
expect you to see more from you. You doing more great stuff. You're doing more greatness based on what you love to do and what you want to do.
Okay.
Because it's all in you, and all you have to do is just go get it. It's just waiting for you. It's like sitting on a string waiting for you to go grab it. And you just got to decide to go grab it. No different than you grabbing what you have now. Because all this stuff about how great I am means nothing. No, it was how great you were and how great you continue to be that have put you in the position you are in today. And that doesn't stop right now. How proud is your daughter about this change?
She's proud. She's proud. She's very proud because you could ask her anytime before that. What is my favorite motto?
Mm-hmm.
I hate my job.
Yeah,
I haven't said that. I haven't said that actually in
no,
over a year now.
but you
No.
decided to change it.
Yep.
And the greatest
Yep.
thing about it is that you didn't have to move on to another company to do what you love to do.
No, I
So you
didn't.
was able to take that 30 years of experience, take all those things and utilize that to your advantage. And that's an amazing thing. I'll tell you, I would have loved to have been a person that stayed with a company for a long period of time. I remember working at Allstate and I just wanted them to give me a $10,000 raise back in the day. And I had to leave because they wouldn't do that. And then they tried to hire me later and I asked for literally double what I was getting paid, there. And I would have been a lifer there. I probably wouldn't be a trainer today if I would have stayed with him. But the idea is that you get to choose your path now. And the beautiful thing for me is I get to sit back and watch your journey. You know how great that is for me? Because I don't know what it's
I
going to
have.
become. I don't know where you're going to take it. But I know you're going to take it someplace. And I just look forward to just seeing that journey and being proud of you as you take every step of that journey. Because I don't
Thank.
know what great stuff you're going to do, but I know it's going to be something amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I have. I whether you want to accept it or not, I couldn't have gotten on this journey without you.
Well, let's just put it this way. You earned that certification, and you borrowed a little bit of confidence from me,
Okay. Well, that's fair.
right?
That's fair.
You bought,
Yeah.
but that confidence was inside of you already.
Yeah.
It was inside of you already. It just was someplace really deep, and you just had to find a place. You had to find. You had to be able to pull it out of you, right? And so you just found a little somebody where you can pull a little bit from someplace else, right? And then you pulling it because you had to go pull that, right? But that's in you right now because your teams don't see me; they see you, and you give your teams the confidence to be able to stretch and do more stuff and be great. That's you doing that for them. It's not me. It's not me. So yeah, you borrowed a little bit from me, and that's okay. We all need to borrow a little bit from people every once in a while, right? To just take it to that next level. Now the question becomes, what's next? I look forward to seeing what's next. So
Okay.
we need that. You and me, we need to have a conversation offline
Yeah,
for sure.
we
So
do.
we need to do that
Thank
this week. So this week
Let's do
I
that
need to
this
make
week.
time this week. Last week I just got busy, so I'm over here.
Okay.
As you see, my background don't look the same. I'm over here working on changing. I'm putting
I
bricks
like
and
it. I
wood on the
like
walls
it.
and everything else. So I'm working on
Hmm.
changing things up a little bit. But I'll tell you what I'm doing next because maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't. Just to remind everybody, you know, starting tomorrow, I'm starting a year of self mastery.
Wow.
It is a combination since since February 1st is National Freedom Day, and it is the start of the Chinese New Year. I'm gonna
Hmm.
start kicking off this whole new thing called the Year of Self Mastery. So hopefully everybody's gonna take this journey, and whether you're trying to be an entrepreneur, master the Scrum thing, or whatever it is you're trying to master, that's the direction I'm moving in forward with. And I'll tell you where it came from, so you know. I got this idea from stuff I did in Scrum back in 2012. I actually did this thing where I just thought about it. I said, okay, we're going to have the year of Agile. And we started an entire year of Agile, and that organization has never been the same since. Literally. And it was an extreme success, right? And so
Okay.
now I'm giving you an idea, right? I see you smiling, right? but the Chinese New Year starts tomorrow. And
Okay.
so
Well.
I did that whole year of Agile thing. You're welcome to steal that from me. You can steal it from me.
Okay.
Nobody else
Okay.
can.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank
And so yes, I had fun with that. But yeah, we're gonna start the year of self mastery. I'm gonna send out a few emails about it and probably throw out
you.
some more
Okay. Do
info,
that.
and then we'll take it
So
from there. But yeah, you let me know. Send me an email. Let me know when you're
I
available this
will.
week.
I'm available
Okay.
anytime. So
Well, I'll
let's
call you
connect
anytime.
tomorrow. Call me anytime.
Okay, well, I'll hit you tomorrow. I
Okay. Do
appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you.
Thank you
Um,
for always having me and accepting me on the show. I love being here. I
why wouldn't
love
I
seeing you.
accept you of all people? Of all people.
Oh.
Of all people. So you
All
enjoy the
right.
rest of your evening. We're gonna let everybody go here, and thank
Okay.
you for coming. I think people are gonna get something out of this. Okay.
All
So I
right.
will talk to you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. All
Tomorrow.
right.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody. He's
Okay, everybody, we're
awesome.
gonna shut it down for the day. We're gonna go over and out here and just make this thing happen like it's supposed to happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We had a great show. Again, the year of self mastery is coming. Look, people, she did it. There's no reason why you can't do it. Absolutely no reason why you can't do it. Go grab the dreams that are just dangling there, waiting for you to touch them. Just waiting for you to touch them. Just go ahead and go grab them. Other than that, look, this is Devon Morris. I will see you next week. Same time, same channel. We'll be in a year of self-mastery. And we're going to go from there. Peace, everybody.